going on? So I wanted to do a kind of in-depth analysis and tutorial of setting up an army. So we'll go to, I don't know, grassy flatlands. So when I host, it's usually I prefer a 2v2. So when it says number of players, you have 2. It's 2 total, 1 on each side, 4, 2 on each side, 3 on each side, 4 on each side. If you have 8, you can't allow spectators. You could have 6 spectators and 2 players and so forth. You can rank. If you rank it, you gain points. And your points can be viewed on multiplayer, player stats. I have 43,000 points. So your first 5 stars, you get 6,500 points regardless, win or lose. After you get, I think it's 3,200 points, you're at 5 stars. So any game after you receive the 5 stars, it's harder to maintain it and it's easier to lose it. So that's why usually in this game you'll see a lot of 4 stars, 3 stars, like all these are, if they're red, it's unavailable and closed. Like this guy here, it's another 1 star compared to, if I host, it'll be, I kind of bounce back and forth between 6 stars and 7 stars. So that's that. I usually put a timer on it. The timer, it is to entice the attacking side to attack. A lot of the times, you'll notice a lot of people like to camp. I like to play at Dresden. On grassy flatlands, it's a little harder to camp, but people will still do it. A lot of times you'll notice if it's Dresden, dry weather, it's always raining. So the trick is to put it at light rain, and then it doesn't. Your funds, that gives your army how much funds they have, small, medium, or large, and your unit size. So I prefer Ultra. So that's that. Then you click Host. Alliance 1 is always the attacking side. Alliance 2 is always the defending side. This must be ranked. If you don't see this computer icon, that means it's ranked. Now you do see the icon, so you could put, for the purpose of this, I'm going to put an AI in here. And I'm going to give them my zombie setup. So real quick, you can build an army of whatever you want. So I think I have Austria, Denmark, Netherlands. I must have an army set up for everybody. Portugal. Yep. Sweden. Okay. Which is fine. But let's imagine we were wanting to set up. So you want Archduke, you want experimental howitzers, blah blah blah. You want all these troops, right? And eventually you're going to find troops that you just enjoy running with, right? So imagine you've run this maybe 2 or 3 times and you really enjoy it. You go up here to save. You can name it, and then right here, blah blah blah, and accept. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. But I will pick the British. But real quick, you have 4 options in a general. Me personally, I've been playing this game for 3,100 hours. Now, this game came out in 2009, right? So I guess let's do the math on that real quick. 2000, what was it? 3,100 divided by, well, let's see, 9 years times, oh my god, hey, screw it, I'm sure it's a lot, either way. But I usually run with the cheapest general. But you have Picton, John Moore, and Duke Wellington. Fun fact, you can right click instead of left, and you can get the kind of the background, the statistics, the abilities, see if they fire a weapon. You can see what their range is, how many men, the level of experience they have. You can add experience as many times as you'd like. Take away. So here, these Coldstream Guards, well, really, let's go historical. So France, you want Napoleon, right? Napoleon Bonaparte. It says here, an inspirational leader of men can be worthy of any number of common soldiers in the right place at the right time. Napoleon's presence alone is enough to inspire the battle-weary troops to fight on, even in the bleakest of situations. So each general will have their own biography or background so we'll go with that. Now these lights, well, we'll go one after the other. So the militiamen, are not very well trained, but they're there as more like a fodder unit. People do use them. I'll bring one and I'll show you how people most generally use them. But weak morale, weak everything, decent charge bonus, pretty impressive there. And it says it even in the background. They're often poorly equipped and trained, but are ideal for maintaining public order. So similar to the Army National Guard. I wouldn't consider the Army National Guard poorly equipped or trained. They go through the same boot camp and AIT, but maybe they don't get the latest and greatest technology, for instance, nowadays compared to the active duty, right? But we'll bring one, and I'll show you how most generally they're used. And if I do that, then let me roll with Portugal here. All right, we'll clear that out for now. All right, now you have the National Guard. Now remember, the militia had a 9 charge bonus. These guys have 11. They just get a little bit better. The National Guard militia is armed with muskets and bayonets, and relatively cheap to recruit. When considered against the other militias, the National Guard is clearly a superior force. However, they should not be expected to stand against regular military units. They are an armed police force intended to keep order. In battle, they lack the confidence and they may run. They are, however, useful garrison troops and can maintain public order and are inexpensive to recruit and pay. We could bring one of those. So these Voltigeurs, now these are going to be more your sharpshooters. They have a 100 range compared to the militia and any other line infantry that's going to have an 80. You can consider that 80 meters or 100 meters or whatever. It's 100 yards, 100 feet. I actually really don't know. I'll call it whatever you want. 100 miles. It's not quite that far. These guys can lay down stakes or spikes. It doesn't say it, but they do. How do I know? Because I know. So we'll bring one of those. This Chasseurs, these also are light infantry, 100 range. So okay, these guys have 120. We'll bring a Chasseur. These guys have 80. So you want 80 men that can lay stakes against enemy cav, or do you want 120 men that are light? I don't know. It's for you to decide and play around with, right? Fusiliers, 80, 160 men. They're line infantry. I would say they're just a regular, run-of-the-mill line infantry. So we'll bring one of those. These 6 regiments, so must have been a year ago, either way, like I personally paid for the DLC, and then next thing you know, they gave everybody the DLC. So if you have this game now, regardless of when you bought it, you're going to have the 6th Regiment d'Infanterie Légère. I don't speak French, I hope I said that right. Again, they're kind of light infantry, 100 range, 120 men. We'll take them. The Swiss Foot. Now, the further you progress along, the better the units are going to get from left to right. Swiss Foot, they're relatively versatile force for the general and can be relied on to stand and fire or give a good account of themselves in close combat, meaning in this melee attack. Against cavalry, they can form a square formation, so we'll show you what a square formation looks like. So we'll bring a Swiss. These Polish Legion. It's line infantry able to give fire and charge home with bayonets. Though Legion may be regarded as socially inferior and paid less than other infantry, but they fight like the devil when asked. They will honorably withstand shot, shell, and saber, and then go forward with courage to drive off enemy. Armed with muskets and bayonets, they can steadily fire volleys into the mass of the enemy's army or fix bayonets and attack to close quarters. They may lack the pump in their infantry. They may lack the pomp of other infantry, but they do all that is asked. Well, I like somebody that just does what they're asked, you know? The 18th Regiment, the Brave. The 18th Regiment are revered by the fellow countrymen who know them as the Brave. They are experienced soldiers that make them valuable on the battlefield. Formed into a line, they can deliver a volley of fire into the enemy, followed up with a decisive charge, and then finish the foe in close combat. Brave or not, they are still vulnerable to artillery and sniping by skirmishers. Like other line infantry, they can form square to repulse enemy cav. Well, I like the sound of that. These Grenadiers. These Grenadiers are pretty fun. Not a lot of men, 120 men, but they can throw grenades. Pretty interesting. We'll take one just to see what they do. Young Guards, raised from the ranks of the Imperial Guard. The Young Guard contains the creme de la creme, okay, of the new recruits. They inspire surrounding units, encouraging them to fight in the hope of one day joining the Guards themselves. Unfailing discipline means these men are excellent accuracy, and their reload times are exceptionally good. These skills make them an expensive unit. Their only real vulnerabilities are artillery fire and sniping from skirmishers. Okay, well, we'll take one. Guard Seamen. The ranks of the Guard Seamen are filled with the best soldiers that the French army has to offer, chosen for their imposing height, good conduct, and loyalty. These men have excellent morale and positive effect on the morale of nearby friendly units. Their discipline is exemplary. Oh my goodness. Their reload times and accuracy have the musketry the envy of many. They do have some weaknesses. Their extensive training and experience makes them more expensive than most foot, and they perform poor against artillery. Let me tell you this. Every unit, I don't give a shit, is going to perform poorly against artillery. Okay, some things just don't need said. Alright, so we'll bring a Guard Seaman. These Dutch Grenadiers, interesting. They're elite and disciplined force. They're skilled with muskets and bayonets in close combat. We'll see what you guys can do. Now, the beloved Old Guard. Very expensive. Veterans of Napoleon's Imperial Guard. These men are elite force of musket-armed soldiers. They're highly trained and experienced troops and are hand-picked by Napoleon himself to act as part of his personal guard. Taken from the ranks of the Imperial Guard, the Old Guard is made up of the most intimidating soldiers the French army has to offer. Chosen specifically from their physical attributes and notably above average height, these men strike fear into the hearts of Napoleon and Napoleon's enemies. Their prowess as soldiers is world-renowned, and the mere presence of their men on the battlefield can inspire and even make the wary fellow Frenchmen to fight on. Well, sounds like a winner in my book. Alright, so we're good here. I got one of everything. Art. Well, let's see. Cav. You have your Chasseurs at Cheval. Really, these, I mean, every unit, I think, and especially after you get into these old guards and young guards, just overpowered. Even the Cav, I mean, these Lancers, even the cheap $700 or coin or whatever you want to call it, pound, Cav, very overpowered. Again, you can review this at your own, take a right click, kind of read what they do. It's very interesting. The developers spent a lot of time on this. A lot of times you're going to hear rules such as 3 art max. It's going to look like this: 3 art max, no fixed or unicorns, 4 light max. So fixed, if it says fixed, like there, rocket troop, fixed artillery, not allowed. That's going to be the only fix. The rest, I think, yeah. Either your horse art, which is very fast art, fast moving, you can move them around the battlefield, they're very agile, or you can have this foot art, very, very slow. They move maybe at a rate of your troops walking, very, very slow, so keep that in mind. The Grand Battery, I don't have enough money to even look at it. We'll go back to Napoleon soon. So the Grand Battery is, so these guys have 8 guns. So on a 3 art artillery match, technically the Grand Battery, which I do allow, technically the Grand Battery would count as 2 art, but I don't play it as 2 art. That's 1 unit, right? A lot of people don't allow Grand Battery because they think it's overpowered. I mean, I'm going to argue that, right? So these guys have 35 firepower. The range is 600 meters, feet, yards, whatever, right? 60 accuracy. Well, check out these 8-pounders, right? 25 firepower, 520 range, 60 accuracy. I mean, the reload is 40, the reload is 50. We'll come back down here. You know, I guess my argument is that these 8-pounders are, well, a third or fourth of the cost, and in my opinion, just as good. The Art Chevelles, very good. Rank accuracy 75. I mean, you almost can't beat that, right? 12-pounders, experimental. So let's bring an experimental, and let's bring a howitzer, so you can see the differences of both. Well, and I lost money. I don't have enough money. Nay. All right. So we're good here. Now let's just destroy this guy. Just give him nothing but militia, right? But I'm not going to be totally sour. Let's go ahead and... So, really, given these guys that much experience, they might not be too bad. But let's see what happens. Alright, so now you want to group your soldiers together, right? You want your lights with your lights, your line with your line, your cav with your cav, your art with your art. Let's just imagine that, okay? So let's see your lights. I got 2 lights. Alright, so you can click once, hold control, click twice, that'll grab all your lights. This here, that'll group them if you click that. But also, I got these militia. I'm gonna hold control, double click, press and hold 2, control 2. That groups them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Press and hold control, press 3, and so forth. These grenadiers, let's put those guys together. Put these on number 4. Really, this is a light as well. That's more of a sharpshooter. So again, these guys have, no, it's 100 range. Okay, well, you belong right there. And then these are my elites. Okay. Now, so if I go to move my troops, see, that's only, I'm picking 2 units, and I'm telling them to go right there, and then the other one's over there. You click on this formation, and you have your single line, double, single line cavalry on the left or right flank, double line standard, double line screen, triple line screen, and so forth. So if you take all of them, well, that's not going to work. What did I click on? Triple line standard. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Whatever I do this single line standard on everybody. Alright, so you got your militia. We'll see what they do over here. You got your lights. Alright, so this here, toggle light infantry behavior. When they're in this formation, they're resting, basically. They're in a rest. If you put them in this, they're skirmishing. They'll also take a knee. If I press deploy, they'd all hit a knee. At that moment, they are now exerting themselves, and they will start to wear themselves out. So we'll keep them in a light formation. And again, I want to keep my militia up here. To put the other general in the back, you always want to protect your general. Art. Protect your general. Protect your art. Protect your cav. Protect your lights. And finally protect your line infantry. Alright, where's my grenadiers at? So these guys, let's put them off here to the rear. And then my elites, let's put them over here. Alright, so this is the battle formation that I'm going in at, right? If you press Control and A, that clicks everybody. If you want to advance, you can do it forward like that, and then they'll all move. Or, well, you got to do it manually. Like, oh, real quick, you can click and drag, select all the units you want to select. You can grab your militia like that, or press 2 right here, the Roman numeral 2, or press 3, 4 on your keyboard. And then you can move these guys anywhere you want. You can drag them how you want. You can bunch them up as much as you want. But that's kind of the gist there, right? Now really, I got, how many troops do I have? 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17 against 20. It'll be an interesting battle. I mean, I'm not going to lose, but when we get closer, we'll unlimber. So I'll show you what people usually do. Actually, alright, so with their militia, if you do this file increase, it'll increase their file. And this is a pretty cheap tactic, but whatever. People like it, you know? So the computer, regardless, even if it's if you're playing against the human, I mean, it's still a computer brain, right? And the computer brain is going to tell it to aim at the closest units to them, unless you manually click. So what people usually do is put their their militia just like that. Alright, so that's going to be a good spot to hold them. This is ridiculous. And it's just to entice them to fire at the militia. Very cheap units. Okay. Let's get some fire going on here. Alright, when the cannons stop, we'll press play and I'll show you the difference between... here they come. Oh my goodness. Okay. And I'll show you the grenadiers. So they have this toggle grenade shot. We're going to go ahead and click that. You'll notice that there's shots. You have to get closer, right? You see that? You have to get closer. So we're going to keep that in mind too. Man, I am actually not in a good spot at all. Totally surrounded. Let's go ahead and support this side here. Oh, it's more militia. Wow. Alright, rip. Okay, so that's good. Alright. Unlimber your art. Alright, so the howitzer, their range is going up to here, which is fine. I like to toggle off the fire at will and kind of call my own shots. Now these howitzers or experimentals for some reason start off in a canister shot. So now you have your quicklime and your carcass. So let's see what a carcass does.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
Alright, so this howitzer, now you have this targeted fire. Let's see, I'm going to try to click. Now, the experimental, that was that shot there. I think that's just a gorgeous looking shot, right? Very good against... Rip. Very good anti-personnel. Let's see it one more time. And actually, they're firing right over my militia. They don't give a shit. Alright. Awesome anti-personnel. That's the carcass shot. Alright, now let's go to quicklime. These guys here, my goodness. Oh, that's not both grenadiers. Oh yeah, it is. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Gotta get right in on it. Oh, these guys are getting ate up, eaten up, whatever. Alright, they're gonna throw grenades. devastating. Alright. Alright, these guys aren't doing shit, so... Oh wow, they're going in for a charge. Jesus, I might lose to the AI against militia. Fuck that. You want some? Come get some. You know what I mean? Let's see who's stronger, buddy. Shit, they are coming. Alright, so let's split off this. So this is like a half moon, stair stepping, I guess. So now you're able to kind of wrap around, right? Where's my old guards at? With 0 action. So these guys should start seeing frightening there, because the old guards. Yeah. That's the power of the old guard. They see him and flee. Yeah, that's about what you would expect. Boy, I tell you, they were... Oh, these guys are pissed off, man. Jesus Christ. Go get it! The idea is anytime you can, you know, try your very best to create a stair stepper in every situation. Oof. And of course they come back. They'll, you know, these guys will keep coming back a few times. That's fine. Yeah, they just don't have the morale. Their general fled the battlefield. I mean, it's just not a recipe for success. And these guys are going fucking nuts. It's just chasing them down. That's also the power in artillery, right? Let's go back to that click. So I think this is just a gorgeous shot. Motherfuckers. Why would you shoot a man in the rear? Man, look at these guys. While they're reloading. Let's do a little, see what happens. So to get to this shot here, you press in.
Our men are running, sir!
Oh, cowards. Then you can kind of free look. What is going on? Come on, are you serious? What are these guys? They're madmen. These guys are fucking madmen. Boy, you want some? Come get it, buddy. Alright, so you can take your general, bring him up here, and you can inspire the men. That's horse shit. Come on, what are you guys doing? Can't even beat militia. Are they charging? Young guards. Wow. Alright. So get up here. The blue circle, white blue circle. Inspired. The problem with militia is they can't form a square formation, so the square formation is good for a cavalry charge, right? Well, you can't do a square formation. Oh, it's just devastating. Yeah, done. And I'm honestly surprised these militia are sticking it out. Yeah, just done. You're done. What is going on, man? Yeah, you really gotta micro every little detail. This guy here, you come over. Oh, did he run?
Sir, your general has been killed.
Wow.
This is a black day.
It is a fucking black day. Oh, and then he routes. Alright. So that's gonna hurt. Yeah, it says concerned general died recently. Oh no shit. You guys can't even beat militia. Wow. That's crazy.
A glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Unbelievable. What is this guy? Oh my goodness. Just go get him. Just go kill him. I'm not gonna lie, this took probably longer than I thought it would to kill militiamen. And if you keep the fire up, eventually they'll go from broken to shattered to, I mean, absolute capitulated. Yeah, they're exhausted. My men are winded. It's just, yeah, you're done, buddy. That's the firing line. Alright, another cool little trick here is if you press insert, let me find it. Where the hell's insert at? Home insert, okay. It goes to like a first person view. You can see where they're shooting, kind of cool. Where's the... blast through them. You can go slow motion. Oh, it's like a running back running through a linebacker, you know? It's crazy. That was a little slow motion for you. I'd say overall that was a pretty successful battle. I didn't lose any units, I don't believe. So victory is yours. You can continue basically cutting more down, or you can just end it. And guess what? We're gonna end it. So when you get to this first screen, you can save the replay, or you can close. Wow, unbelievable! I mean, that militia did pretty good. 779 lost. Well, I had a mixture of. I mean, I would not bring one of everything. I mean, that was not really the best build. Wow, good job, guys. 184. So in my books, anytime you kill more men than you deployed, it's a victory, right? And you don't. right here, the guard seamen, and they have only lost 22 men, so they did very, very good. Yeah, it's, wow. Yeah, the National Guard sucked. But that's kind of it. You can do a rematch if you were playing against somebody. You have to agree to it, and that's it. So hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you learned something. Keep your light infantry in a skirmishing formation in front of your line. I know I didn't really touch on cav too much. Cav's something that you really have to be patient with, practice, know what units can do what. Know, for instance, militia, you can run through them all day, right? Now these guys, the lights, you can run through them all day. Watch out for stakes. The grenadiers and line infantry, old guards, etc., they can form a square formation. But the user has to initiate the square. So at times, if you catch your opponent unprepared, you can successfully charge. So just something to keep in mind. Be patient with the cav. Matter of fact, this is all militia, right? Let's do a real quick, just some of the cheapest. We'll do militia versus cav, and it won't last that long. This is the cheapest cav money can buy against some of the cheapest militia money can buy for Portugal. And you're gonna see the difference. What did I lose? 700 troops. Yeah. All right. Well, rewind it and see how many we killed. All right. Come on, baby. So militia versus cav, and we're just gonna go for a 1-for-1, right? Starting here. Let's just do a 1-for-1. These guys can fire as well, so this is gonna be very interesting. Oh, this is gonna be devastating. Oh, I missed one. Oh, let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. Let's get that general up here. You know what? I want it to be like a massive all-together charge, A little premature. Alright. You're close enough. Oh, this is going to be good. Hopefully they all fire. So the problem is the cav is going to fire at each other. So you can potentially take losses like that. There's just nothing you can do as a militia. Yeah. And they all didn't fire. Oof. Should be a quick battle. Very interesting. Yeah, they're done.
A glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
fairly quick, right? I'm under 5 minutes. I'm not even really trying to attack his general.
Sir! Sir! Our general is under attack!
Interesting, huh? Oh, the general just, I mean, he wants it, you know? Yeah, let's kill him.
Our men are running, sir!
Yeah, that's my point. You start to shoot your own men in the back, you know, which is upsetting. But overall, very interesting. I think I'm at the point of no return now. I gotta wait for these guys to rout all the way. They're going though. Killed the general. You can see where he died at, who you killed, and then okay, it disappears. You'll never see it again. You can click on the map. Of course, I got my camera debugged, but let's see here. I try to get these guys dead. This is the last units on the battlefield. Yeah, you're just killing, just shooting your own men. Ridiculous, right? Yeah, that's the lack of give a shit the French had. Jesus, just keep going.
Our men are running, sir!
They're just chasing them down. That's funny.
Our men are running, sir!
Alright, decisive victory. Okay, I probably killed myself more than anything, but also a lot more kills, so good job. And I killed the general, not just make him rout, but yeah, that's kind of the tutorial. You know, there's good and bad of each. Obviously, you know, you play against the AI, it's going to be less of an interesting battle, but good to practice with, right? Come 1v1, pick the AI, pick some cheap units, or go pick some good units. You know, pick all artillery, and just see what you do against all artillery. Find different tactics that work well. Learn what doesn't work well. Feel free to add me anytime. I mean, my profile is basically go up here and type in Hal Moore. You'll find me. Feel free to send me an invite. I'm always kind of interested in playing. That's all I got. Hope you enjoy it.